two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, yeah, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with your boy, Mr. New Studio, Ryan Enjoys Wrestling, and the Heartbreak dude, Denton. Thank you for tuning in, whether you're doing it live or you're hitting us up because you subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I don't care if you're on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, watching us illegally streaming. Subscribe and go back and do it, whatever y'all doing. But this is our AEW Full Gear edition, and we're going to talk all things Rampage, Collision, Dynamite, and give you your money-making Full Gear predictions. I think we're both going to go 9 for 9. So if you do not live in California like me and you want to make some money, get your pencil and pens out and take those notes, yo, and then go on to FanDuel or whatever and make those predictions. But Ryan, how you feeling in your new studio? You look like you're in like a dark hole right now. You said it's blue. It looks black to me. You're like,
yeah, I need some lighting, but yeah, the walls are navy blue, and I need to put some stuff on the walls. That's going to be the next time we do this, and then it's still a little echoey, so I got to fix that. But other than that, and I'm also I put on a blue shirt, so I kind of look like Zordon from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Just have my
you kind of do, yeah.
Just have my
you look cool though. We have like different contrasting, like mine's all white and.
Yeah, I need some lights, but we'll get there. This is it's a work in progress. This has been going on since April. So I'm finally the fact that I'm able to use it today speaks volumes. So
and sorry to you Spotify people if you don't know, but just check us out on YouTube once just to see our backgrounds, and you'll get it when we describe it. I need to fix mine. When I built this one, when I moved, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure that it's always in my shot. And then once again, I made everything like 4 feet too high. So there's so much stuff above me and on the side of me. So now I need to like build below me so it looks like a full wall. So I'm going to do it and then my cats will wreck it all. But anyway, let's get into AEW. You ready? We had a opposite jam-packed show up once again. AEW fans, I'm going to do my best. We're going to try to find as many positives as we can and not harp on the negatives. I know. You guys hate AEW. I really, really, really don't. But news-wise, I don't know if we have news, but do you have some news?
We have a little bit of news.
I was going to say.
It's news. I'm using air quotes for those on Spotify listening, but Toni Storm apparently has retired, again, air quotes, from professional wrestling. She released a statement earlier in the week where she announced her retirement from pro wrestling. And it was, I don't buy it at all, but the fact that USA Today wrote something on it. The Sports Illustrated wrote something on it. So it makes me wonder if there is some legitimacy to it. But Toni Storm says that her direct quote is that she's leaving wrestling because she isn't used to being a loser. So she wrote, or she says in an interview with SB Nation, "I'm not used to being a loser. I failed at everything. I lost in AEW. I lost in Japan. I lost in Mexico. This is the last you'll hear from me again. Enjoy Moriah May as your champion. You can all enjoy that." And then Tony Khan did an interview yesterday and basically said that, Toni Storm's been a great champion. We hope we see her again wrestling soon. Hopefully we can change her mind, something like that. So I think this is all a great, big, fat work. But but like I said earlier, anytime like USA Today runs with something, like it wouldn't surprise me if this is in like the Wall Street Journal now, those are the publications that run with like the Vince McMahon allegations and stuff. So anytime it hits those outside of like the Sean Ross Sapps and the Dave Meltzers, you kind of question whether it's legit or not. Because if Toni Storm were to retire, this would be the good way to do it, right? Like, her contract could be up. Maybe she's not coming back. Maybe she's not re-signing, and her character's been kind of kooky. So maybe this is just her way of going off. So we really don't know, but I think it's all a work.
By the way, Toni Storm, don't forget you were also a loser in WWE and NXT. But with that said, that's how I know it's a work. She did not mention the bigger brand. She also said she was retiring because she's a loser. For those of you out there who are listening, I'm sorry to break it to you. Spoiler alert. Professional wrestling is scripted. So she's not a loser. She's actually a huge winner, and she's just scripted to lose every once in a while. So there's a lot of, you sent me the link, and I instantly wrote you back like, oh, you had me there for a second. And I think you were like, no, dude, it's retired. Like, this is legit. And I'm like, there's no, I read that article and instantly it was like, I thought it was April. I like looked at my watch. I'm like, there's no way this is the most stupidest shit I've ever, like, why didn't she just, you put on a suit and walk into the ring and do a sad moment and say she was going to retire, and then she owes it to Moriah May. And then when Moriah May comes in to hug her out, they put their hands up and then she clotheslines her and plays her out like Mark Henry and AJ Styles did. Like, why are we?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what they're doing. I think tomorrow at Full Gear, Moriah May, we'll get into this with predictions, but Moriah May's having her champagne celebration.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I think, Toni Storm's making you think she's retiring. What a perfect time for her to return and ruin that celebration for one Moriah May. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this came out like 2 days before their big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah. And she needs it. Mariah May is bumming me out. She's starting to make me feel like she can't do anything like without Toni Storm, kind of like Cody Rhodes with Roman Reigns. Like, her title run has been abysmal at best, and so she needs Moriah May or Toni Storm back so they can actually do something and focus on that again, whether she wins or loses, or she can just tell me she's going to have a champagne party in a couple days and do her little shimmy shake, and I'll be okay with that. She can shimmy shake all day, and I'll just watch that for 47 hours.
Completely fine with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't act like you don't know what I was talking about on Dynamite.
But all right. But yeah, other than that, no big news.
Hey, they're coming to Cali. I'm excited. So here's the thing, right? I was talking to my boy and I'm like, hey, they're coming to Cali. I'm like, Raw and Netflix, right? Did you hear the Raw Netflix prices are more than the WrestleMania prices? Like, they're like, dude, that's just like, I don't know who I think we need to do a whole separate podcast episode just on that and how I do think it's going to be the demise of WWE and ticket sales. I'm being dead serious. I think eventually they're going to realize that it's not working. You can say tickets are sold out, but people got to remember those tickets get sold out by people who are mass buying them to sell them at a higher price. Yeah. It's not real fans. People are going to wait till the last second. Maybe they'll buy them. I'm telling you, they're going to start having empty arenas and stuff. They're going to buy themselves out. But I'm hoping AEW does the opposite. And when they come to Cali, I can sit front row for like $85. That's what I'm hoping. So I can go.
They did. For those wondering, they did announce that AEW Revolution is coming to not Kia Forum, but Crypto.com Arena in the
bigger
arena in March. And then they announced a bunch of dates in California. I think the Dynamite after is in Fresno in March as well. And then in early January, they're doing like Fight for the Fallen in Asheville, North Carolina, the mountains, to raise money for the victims of the flooding. So
that's cool.
So AEW is doing some good stuff coming up on the horizon. So good for them.
Yeah. Tune in. I agree. All right, let's get into it. You ready? We're going to do Rampage Collision.
Quick and painless.
All right, let's go. Yeah, there you go. Rampage. Sheeta defeats Layla Gray. Harley Cameron plays the guitar. No die. She actually kind of killed it. Mark Briscoe defeats Davari, who's still around. Commander defeats Rocky Romero, because Rocky Romero is the only guy in the conglomeration that can't get a win. Anna Jay gets asked to help from the Vendetta, but she denies it. La Fashion defeat some jobbers. MVP sees talent in AEW and was impressed by Commander. Ricochet defeats Dante Martin in the main event to close the show, and that is why Ricochet left WWE. Collision review. We got Mina defeating Harley Cameron. Daniel Garcia defeats Johnny TV. Afterwards, Jack Perry is beating up Daddy Magic backstage. Garcia goes to help out, and somehow they tie him to the hood of his own bus and drive away. I'm sure that's the last we'll see of that. Sheldon Benjamin defeats Commander. Sheeta wants Statlander to beat Mercedes Moné. Then she wants the first title shot. Well, that ain't going to happen. The Acclaimed are ready for their match coming up, and MVP wishes them good luck. Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Bulk Bronson, your favorite wrestler. The Acclaimed defeat La Fashion to move on to Full Gear. MXM Collection has merch, and Ryan has already purchased it all. Mark Briscoe speaks in his Oh, Mark Briscoe speaks in his own language again. FTR thinks the Outrunners will win the tag titles, so they're not. Moriah May defeats Anna Jay in why'd they have a hardcore match? I didn't think it was that. Well, whatever. But she defends her title. Mina and Moriah May celebrate after the win. John Moxley talks about Orange Cassidy and tells him to prepare to die. And then we close out the episode with a sweet November Rain promo for Full Gear. And that is the Rampage and Collision review. Because, nothing lasts forever,
Yeah.
I don't know when to. It's so funny because when I was hearing it, I'm like, the song's about his wife that died. What? And then I was like, oh, it's November.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. But, I told you on offline after our WWE episode on Wednesday, I was like, watch the last 15 minutes of Collision because it's kind of weird, but it's kind of good. And you're like, who does it involve? And I was like, everybody. And
well said.
That's literally how I felt about it because I actually thought it was really well done. I thought it was a great video to kind of highlight everything, all the stories that they're telling for Full Gear. It was a great way but I also found it to be you closed the show with that. I mean, you came back from commercial, you went to the arena, you cut to Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness, and then they talk about the November Rain video set to the tune of Guns N' Roses, and then the video is 15 minutes long, which is fine
forever, yeah.
And then it goes off the air. So I'm like, we're not going to go back into the arena close things out with a promo or anything, but I actually thought it was really well done. And I give their video team a lot of credit for putting that together. But yeah, it was just oddly placed in my opinion.
Here's my thing, right? So, well, for one, they were done 35, 40 minutes before because John Moxley also cut a promo before that, and he wasn't even in the arena. It was they were done with Collision. Yeah, they must have pre-recorded again.
Yeah, I think it was pre-recorded. It had to have been pre-recorded.
Yeah, they were like, whatever.
And they just threw this together. Yeah.
Here's my thing. For one, November Rain, one of the greatest ballads of all time. I mean,
absolutely.
You got November Rain, you got Kiss from a Rose, there's, Aerosmith, I don't want to close my eyes.
Sweet Child of Mine's pretty good too.
Sweet Child of Mine, another Guns N' Roses.
Also by Guns N' Roses, yeah.
You got some good damn ballads out there. And this is one of the best ones, but it is about his dead wife, which threw me off. But it was a little too sentimentally sad for me, but I guess it made sense because of all the going back and forth. But here's my thing. Like you said, beautifully well done again by AEW. Congrats. Your packages are getting better and better, just like mine has throughout my youth. And you're welcome for that. And but the problem is, right? Here's the thing. Why did you put money and time into a 15-minute, beautifully well done video package to hype up your pay-per-view that probably nobody's going to buy, and you put it on an AEW Collision episode that nobody watches? All 200,000 people who watch that episode are probably the only 200,000 people are going to buy the pay-per-view. And that's where, why was this not in the middle of Dynamite? You know what I mean? Why? And we'll get into Dynamite too, because they didn't even hype anybody for the Full Gear. Right? No. I mean, there were so many people left out of Full Gear. That would have been so once again, remember I say this about AEW? I'm going to get a shirt. AEW, right? Great ideas, poor execution. Almost they're they never disappoint. They come up with this great idea and then they execute it poorly. And it's just rinse and repeat, man. I hate to be negative because it was so well done, but dude, imagine if this was on Dynamite. I know not many more people watch it, but hey, they get 600,000, right? That's a lot more people than Collision. I think you would have sold pay-per-views off that hype video. And they sort of showed it, but they gave us a 2-minute pointless. It was out of place.
Yeah, again, it was out of place because Dynamite, they opened with it, but it was only 2 to 3 minutes of the, and I was like, are they going to play this entire 15-minute thing to open the show? And again, that would have been oddly placed, but yeah, it was, Yeah, I agree. I love the video. I thought it was great, but yeah, they wasted their time putting it on Collision. They should have put it on Dynamite. Would have been a good way, a good middle of the show out at the top of the hour, bring it back, and kind of hype everybody up. So, especially on the go home episode.
Yeah, I mean, don't waste your time. I don't know.
I
know Tony Khan doesn't care about money. That's how much did that cost? November Rain. Guns N' Roses ain't cheap, bro. It's not they're touring anymore. They want that money. That thing had to have cost. Yeah, I was just confused by it. I want to bring up you though. you've talked a lot about the women being prominent on Rampage and Collision, and that was in the case again. They are really, really doing a good job at showcasing their women's division and their tag team division. They're putting a lot of work into it. It's still not perfect with stories and this and that. Like I was watching with my girl. She watches WWE with me sometimes, and she will actually be into it and pay attention. I put on AEW, and she was like kind of watching it, and then she would look at me like, "What is this?" Like she wasn't impressed. But that's one of the key parts, right? With AEW, which we always talk about. I know AEW hardcore fans are like, no, it doesn't matter. It's for true wrestling fans, but true wrestling fans aren't tuning in. So you have to find a way to get people who don't, right? Like if I put on an episode of SmackDown, my girl will watch it. She'll check it out, tune in, enjoy it, and maybe even be like, when is this happening? I put on these, she watched Rampage and Collision with me, and she was just like, I don't know, what is all this? Like, what are we doing here? But in my eyes, because I know what's going on, at least they are giving the time. I mean, we had a lot of women showcase. We had a lot of tag team showcase. We had the Acclaimed, which I think is still one of the bigger tag teams, showcased all over Collision. MXM doing the merch. So I think you've been right on that you say they have been putting a lot of time into these other divisions. I mean, Mariah May and Anna Jay had a banger of a
it was a great match. Yeah.
I thought it was unnecessary. We don't need that on Collision, but it was a banger of a match. And I mean, anytime Mariah May's on screen, you're gonna make money. So,
absolutely.
So good for them on that.
And I don't have anything else to add to that, but I do want to go back to Rampage. Because like we know that Rampage is going off the air. Like it's gone. They haven't announced any sort of return for Rampage. So it just feels like they're phoning it in. It feels like their give a shit meter is at an all-time low. Like they do not care about, because I mean, a couple weeks ago, Leo Rush was in the main event, and then a couple weeks before that, Commander versus somebody else was Beast Mortos was the main event. It was just like, and this week it was Dante Martin and Ricochet, which like, okay, cool. Ricochet's on Rampage. He shouldn't be. I mean, you can say what you want about Ricochet. He's bigger than Rampage, but also Dante Martin is an AEW original, and I'm supposed, like we've talked about this Moxley angle supposedly being like a hard reset for AEW. Top Flight's been involved in this feud with the Death Riders, with everybody else, with Private Party and Daniel Garcia and all these other people. And I'm supposed to take them seriously, but all they do is lose, and they lose on Rampage. So I don't know. It just feels like I did not give two craps about this episode of Rampage, and it just feels like they're completely phoning it in a big way.
They also, the whole episode was somebody who won so they can lose on Collision. They were like building up Rampage for the Collision episode, but all the people who won on Rampage lost on Collision. So that just basically makes Rampage more irrelevant. They need to be done with it. They need to just get it off the air. They're not getting any ratings. No, what are they at? Like at the 50,000s now? Nobody
I don't even know.
Nobody cares.
Look it up just to be curious.
It's only an hour. It's just like a waste. Even though they're recording it with other shows, you still have to take that time to record it, to pay, to do things. I just think it's a big time waste of time. And even Collision now, I'm starting to feel like, is that leaving? Are we getting done with Collision too?
No, I mean, that was part of the deal when with the Turner contract, the Warner Brothers contract. So I think we're getting Collision and Dynamite in 2025 on Max too, which I think will help, but no Rampage.
Hopefully.
Yeah. No Rampage. And apparently Rampage got 237,000 viewers. Oh, wait, no. 100. I'm sorry, 186,000 viewers this past Friday night. It was down 21% from the previous week, which was 237,000.
Because no Leo Rush, dude. I mean, people tuned in for him.
He's a draw.
They're pushing him now. They want Timu Ricochet to be a freaking star. But anyway, but other than that, I get what you're saying. Let's just really quick, Jack Perry, because that was probably the biggest segment of the Mariah May.
Yeah.
Or do you want to talk about it all as a whole in Dynamite?
Yeah, let's get right into Dynamite. Yeah.
All right, let's get into Dynamite. You ready? Dynamite review, and away we go. The Don Callis family defeat Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ospreay, and Mark Davis in a 8-man -1 All-Star match. I don't know if Mark Davis is an all-star. Moxley says Wheeler Yuta will defeat Orange Cassidy later tonight. So pencil that in, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurt Syndicate have arrived in the building, and Swerve Strickland punches Lashley with a chain and runs away. That's the best way to beat somebody up. Adam Cole out for a promo, and he's happy with Roderick Strong. Out comes Kyle O'Reilly, who literally says nothing.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy doesn't want help tonight, and he isn't worried about the 5-on-1 ass whooping he'll get after the match. So the conglomeration will wait in the back. Chris Statlander defeats Sheeta, and after the match, Mercedes Moné and a broken arm Camille try to attack, but they both get laid out with Statlander standing tall. Bobby Lashley beats 2 jobbers at once. After the match, guess what? Swerve hits Lashley with a chain again and runs off. That's twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Can't get fooled again. All right. Mariah May shakes her boobs with Mina. Claudio defeats Darby Allin in a squash
I didn't even watch
match.
the rest of the episode after. I just
I'm
kept rewinding it. Yeah.
How many times were you slow-mo in that one?
Yeah.
She did it on purpose, y'all. I'm allowed to enjoy it. Claudio defeats Darby in a squash match. I'm pretty sure it was a squash match. The Costco guys, if you know who they are, I don't, are hanging out with Private Party. Way to go, new tag team champions. MJF pulls up in a Porsche somewhere. I don't know. Maybe he's on the set of Bobby Boucher too. But he pulls up in a Porsche and then he makes fun of a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Well, he throws a coin, and I guess he threw it so far that he was able to cut a 5-minute promo before the homeless guy would come back. Basically, he talks about how Roderick Strong's mom shot his dad, and now he wishes after Full Gear that he would have been shot by his mom. I don't know. The Costco guys are back, and they say the Rizzler will be a guest timekeeper in their match at Full Gear. There is your sell, ladies and gentlemen. Roderick Strong says MJF brought up old shit, and he'll break his back at Full Gear. Because I guess Roderick Strong's like a backbreaker now. I missed that part. All right. Then we get flashback to Daniel Garcia and Daddy Magic holding Jack Perry hostage. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Daniel Garcia does absolutely nothing. Chris Jericho and Ishii have a contract signing, but Jericho walks away and Ishii follows him. Literally, it's pretty funny to be. I actually laughed halfway through almost all of it. In the ring, they brawl when the conglomeration and Learning Tree help out. Contracts are signed, and Ishii stands tall. Becky Lynch is confused why Julia Hart is targeting her. So then we get another cool Julia Hart promo video. Orange Cassidy barely beats Wheeler Yuta. And when I mean barely beats, I mean they have like a 13-minute match. And he has to do a roll-up to beat the least popular member of the Death Riders right before he faces the leader of the Death Riders. So I got high hopes for Orange Cassidy at my predictions. Afterwards, the Death Riders legit duct tape Cassidy, beat him down. They walk away, and then the conglomeration, staying true to Cassidy's words, free him, and they stare at each other, and that's what they think is going to put seats into Full Gear, and that's the Dynamite review. I know, man. I said I wouldn't be negative, but I didn't think the episode can get worse from last week. I had high hopes in it.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of good happening on this episode, bro.
This was rough. You had Bobby Lashley make his debut. Like his debut couldn't have been at Full Gear, and he struggled. He wrestled Cheeseburger. Speaking of, I need a tag team between Beef and Cheeseburger. Like make that a thing right now, and have them win put them in the make it a fatal 5-way at Full Gear.
You have them win. Sneak in?
Put them in. Don't last minute edition. Beef and Cheeseburger. Put them in a tag team right now. But he struggled against Cheeseburger.
I can't even. The other guy? I don't even. There was 2 guys. Two guys. Yeah.
Let me find. I can't remember their names, but one of them was Cheeseburger, and he struggled.
Yeah.
It was Joey Keys in Cheeseburger. He finally ended up putting him in the Hurt Lock, but I still feel like that was the wrong decision. Having Bob, you're trying to get ratings, I guess, but I still think his debut match should have been at Collision or at Full Gear against Swerve Strickland.
Yeah. I mean, they could have just had him wrestle Prince Nana and barely beat him. And then in the last second, he'd have to like roll him up. 1, 2. And then he's like, all right, I barely beat Prince Nana, but you're next.
Yeah.
Swerve. I'm going to destroy you now because I just barely beat your minion. Maybe they could have just done it that way because that's the AEW way. I don't know. It's fun to see Bobby. I like that Swerve Strickland at least like got 2 chain punches in, but that doesn't really give me a lot of hope in their match because you have to punch a guy with the chain and run away. How are you going to beat him in a non-chain match where you have to just like
and it's like you always say, whoever gets whoever stands tall at wrestling 101. So it's not looking good for old Swerve.
No, I'm going to break that in a prediction, though, because there's one match that I guarantee that's not happening in. But let's go. What else do you want to talk about? Let's see here. There was a lot that went on. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
Let's continue our collision discussion with Jack Perry. Because in the blue hell are they doing? Like, what? This was the dumbest thing I've seen in wrestling, maybe in the year 2024, maybe of all time. I don't know. The hand baby's pretty stupid, but this might be up there.
And some Double J segments a couple of years ago too. Everything he was doing was awful too. But yeah, go ahead. It was just completely like you said. Jack Perry literally did absolutely nothing. And Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, Daniel Garcia. He did absolutely nothing. And it was just like a waste of a segment. Like when I watched that, I wasn't like, oh man, Daniel Garcia he's definitely going to win on Saturday. He's definitely I didn't watch it thinking that, Jack Perry's got the upper hand now. It was just a waste of a segment. It was just completely stupid.
You know what the last thing you should do in a scripted situation is acknowledge the fact that it was pointless. So this man ties him up to the hood of his car and drives him into a garage somewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Then he gets him out, unties him, ties him to a chair, forces Daddy Magic to record it. He gets in his face or dumps water on him to wake him up because I don't know why he fell asleep while being driven on the hood of the car. He was awake.
Yeah.
It was a long drive.
He had a long drive he was in the trunk. Or no, he was on the hood. He was on the hood.
Yeah. How do you sleep with the wind like blowing?
Was it a Tesla? Maybe it was a Frunk, but
no, it was that stupid beat up bus. But anyway, so he wakes him up and then he's like talking mess to him. And then he gets mad. So he goes back and gets the crowbar. And you're like, all right, how are they going to do this? Like, break it over his head, break a kneecap. No, he hits one light. So I guess he'll get a ticket on the way home. So he hits his tail light. And then he's like, yeah. And it was so stupid that Jack Perry legitimately says, quote, end quote, is that all you're going to do?
Yeah.
What? Don't acknowledge it. Don't you at least be like, no, I just got new headlights. Like he legitimately is like, that's all you got or something like that. And then Daniel Garcia's like, let's go, Daddy Magic. And even Daddy Magic's like, wait, why the hell was I recording this? And then they leave. And that's it.
Dumb.
Whoever produced this needs to be fired. I'm sorry. I bet you have a family and you need money, but you need to be terminated instantly. That was the worst segment. If it was Tony Khan, fire yourself. I don't give a shit who it was. I don't know how you go from making these Julia Hart promos to that Sweet November Rain to doing that.
Yeah.
And if you're trying, what did it do for Jack Perry or Daniel Garcia? Please.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It was a waste of time.
It reminded me, like you said, of like we talk about dumb segments. That a couple months ago, Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, had a segment where Kyle O'Reilly and Mark Briscoe dumped a bunch of coins in his Bentley, but at least that was really stupid. But Chris Jericho sold it, right? Like, they were missing like 90% of the coins. They put like $8 of quarters in this Bentley, but Jericho was selling it. He was just like, my car, oh my gosh, my car. You gave me money and put it in my car. Oh my god, but Jack Perry, like, he completely no sold this. And the thing is this was pre-recorded, so like you could have done multiple takes. So whoever thought like, let's leave that line in if that's all you're gonna do, that was a horrible idea, because that completely no sold it. That's worse than doing a pile driver and kicking out at one, in my opinion.
Or every Takeshita match right now where he gets kicked in the face 47 times and pretends like he's invincible. Imagine if Chris Jericho at that point would have been like, well, I mean, I can still drive my car, and I guess I'll take it to the coin exchange machine and make some money off it. Thanks, guys. Like, imagine that. It would have been. But if we're going to talk about pointless, can we just continue with the pointless and go into Kyle O'Reilly's speech with Adam Cole? Yeah. For one, did Adam Cole not look like he just escaped from Wonka's factory? Why was he
spray tan was strong,
orange? Or my girl thought he had jaundice. She was like, what's wrong with that guy? Is he sick? I'm like, no, it looks like he just doesn't know how to get tan. He went to the same place as MJF. He looked awful. But nonetheless, what was the point of that whole what did you get from that? Explain.
I have a theory, but I'll do it in predictions.
Okay.
But no, I got nothing from this. This was a completely not only was it pointless, it was silent. There was no music. Like after the match, after Kyle, like it was awkward. It ended awkwardly. Kyle O'Reilly just walked out. There was no music, and the crowd did not care.
Nope.
It was completely. You could hear crickets in the arena. It was so quiet, and to me that was a shame because I was actually looking forward to hearing from Adam Cole, especially with his loss to MJF or his loss last week to Takeshita. Now he doesn't get MJF. So and then they did this, and it was just not good. Not good at all. Kyle O'Reilly doesn't have a good feeling about MJF. He needs to stop. Adam Cole needs to stop having people fight his battles for him. But yet he's not. He lost the match, and Roderick Strong is wrestling because he won the match. It's not like he's handpicked Roderick Strong to wrestle MJF. It was just a really stupid segment.
I haven't once heard Roderick Strong say he wants MJF because of Adam Cole. Not once.
They wanted him together. Yeah.
Yes. They came out of nowhere. And Kyle O'Reilly showed why he shouldn't cut promos. It was atrocious. He was stumbling through words. And once again, I'm not trying to like defend Eric Bischoff, but one thing he always makes about AEW, which gets stuck in my head, is that he talks about how they all look the same and they all look like they just got out of Walmart and like showed up. What Kyle O'Reilly like coming out like in his sloppy conglomeration shirt with like baggy like khaki with some like boots, and he's just, we can't all look like regular guys. Like if you go to WWE, no one looks regular. Even Roman, he's in pants or sweats or whatever the pool, but he looks like a beast. And then Jay looks completely different, and Jimmy looks completely different, and Sammy looks completely different.
Sammy looks like the guy who came out of Walmart, but
he's like one of the few, right? That's like his thing. He's just like Mick Foley was, but everybody looks different. I feel like they all just like whatever clothes you have at home that you can afford, just wear here. Like we don't have wardrobe. We don't have, he just stands out there looking like I don't want my professional wrestlers to look like a normal guy unless he's a normal guy. And Kyle O'Reilly is not, he's supposed to be somebody. It's just, it was all stupid. He literally said nothing. And then they moved on. And I don't understand. But Adam Cole's in the Undisputed Kingdom again, I guess. He was wearing a shirt. I didn't know he was still in it. I don't know.
I don't get that either.
Yeah.
And then feeding off of that, MJF's promo.
Let's go into it. Yeah.
That's probably the word you ranted about the massage promo a few months ago that he did where he almost got, you said it was tone deaf. I think this promo was way worse than that one. Just, talking about somebody getting shot and wishing that it was Roderick Strong. Like MJF is just coming across as trying way too hard to get heat. And like maybe if he was in the arena, it would have gotten some boos, but I feel like these pre-recorded things, they just don't land the same. And so I'm sitting here thinking like, this is just ridiculous. I mean, that was a horrible line. It was a terrible, with all this, everything going on in the world right now, we're talking about somebody getting shot and that it should have been you that your mother killed instead of your dad, which like, why are we talking about that? And then they go into Roderick Strong, and Roderick Strong barely even mentions it. It was just very, very, he was just like, Max, I'm like a kid at Christmas because I get to wrestle you. And it was just like, huh? You're not going to say, I mean, he talked a little bit about his family and everything, but not like I would have been more emotional after hearing that from Roderick Strong. And I felt like there was no emotion from him when he cut his promo later in the show.
So what's the theme? The theme is pointless promos and no selling. Once again, you cut back to it and he goes, dude, you're telling me stuff I heard when I was in high school. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Well, then that literally him saying that took away everything MJF said. So even if you thought it was a cool promo, which it wasn't, it just took away everything he said. And why are you bringing this up 7 seconds before your match out of nowhere? There was no mention. This is why you need to build stories at AEW. You just put these two guys together randomly. No one wanted Roderick Strong versus MJF. And now MJF, and like you said, being a real heel isn't trying. It's effortless. Dominic Mysterio, it's effortless. He comes out, he's himself, and you hate it. Christian Cage, I know he brings up, but he brings up dead dads, but it's effortless. He's not trying. It just comes out. It's all natural. MJF I don't know if he is not as good as I thought he was, and he can't change. He's just the same guy, so it's stale, or he just doesn't give two shits because he's filming a movie right now and he doesn't have time to really focus. I don't know which one it is, but it's not working, and I think it's hurting him.
Yeah, in a big
majorly.
way.
I don't think this is helping him whatsoever. It was pretty bad overall.
Yeah,
for sure.
We've said this the last like 5 weeks, but no need to keep going on it. But they never should have turned him heel. He was getting great babyface reactions when he came back at Double or Nothing. The man got a tattoo that says that he is like Mr. AEW, and now you have this John Moxley and the Death Riders thing. And imagine if MJF was going up against the Death Riders, right? Mr. Selfish, Mr. I'm only in it for money, is actually defending the company instead of Orange Cassidy. I think that would be a better story as a babyface MJF versus a heel Moxley. But no, they turned him heel for whatever reason. And now he's just coming across as trying too hard. He's trying to be cringe. I don't even know what his character is. Like because he did that All-American gimmick for a little bit on the way up to All In. Then he dropped that. And now he's just being the scumbag heel again. But it's not working. It's not working. And yeah, it's hurting MJF in a big way.
He pulled up to the middle of nowhere in a brand new green, beautiful Porsche, parked it next to a broken down Porsche where a homeless guy was randomly hanging. Where the hell was he? And then he got out.
He was in the trailer park that Roderick Strong grew up in. I think.
And then he was disgusted and threw a coin. And the homeless guy was like, and then never why would you who thought of let me just randomly make fun of a homeless guy? There was no point to it. Trying too hard. Stop, MJF. Just be natural. You don't have to the scumbag. That isn't a scumbag. No one gives a crap that you threw a coin at a homeless guy. Whoa, oh man, you're so mean. Yeah, I see that every day in California. Whoop de freaking do. Get the heck out of here, man. It's stupid. Stupid cheesiness. Let's talk about this main event, huh?
Yeah. No, it happened. I mean, I don't really know what else. I mean, Orange Cassidy, I don't feel like this match did him any favors going into the match with John Moxley on Saturday. I feel like he should have whooped up on Wheeler Yuta. I feel like he should have made a statement, just like the Death Riders have been making a statement. And he kind of did there at the end. But I feel like he should have whooped Wheeler Yuta, dominated him from start to finish. But this was just another typical Orange Cassidy match where he gets his ass kicked at the first half, and he finds a way to, he kicks out of everything they throw at him, and then he finds a way to hit an orange punch, and then he beats Wheeler Yuta. So and Wheeler Yuta did try to cheat, but Cassidy got the roll up, and it was like you end that match with a roll up. This is one of the biggest rivalries you have in AEW, and it ends in a fluky roll up, and then the Death Riders come out and beat him down, and and then it was just this was not a good. This did not sell me on Orange Cassidy's chances. I already think he's losing anyway, but this did not sell me on his chances at Full Gear.
It so stupid. Right now, Wheeler Yuta is the bitch of the group. So much so that they just beat him up for fun. He's the runt. He's the nobody. You have him trying to prove a point to the Death Riders by going at Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy needs to prove that he has a fierce side to him, that he is not afraid of a 5-on-1 beatdown. How can you not be afraid of a 5-on-1 beatdown if you can't beat the grandkid of the group? You know what I mean? It was just a stupid, why did he not whoop his ass in 5 minutes, beat him up the entire match, whoop him, push him off to the side? The Death Riders come out, beat up Wheeler Yuta, and throw him to the side saying, you're a disgrace. And then they go and beat him up 4-on-1. At least it shows Orange Cassidy is okay, I whooped your guy, and you guys are so afraid you had to beat me up, duct tape me to beat me up some more. And then my crew came out, helped me, which I like that. That's fine. But it was, once again, good idea, poor execution. I don't know what that did not sell any pay-per-views.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
Orange Cassidy barely beat Wheeler Yuta, then stare off at Moxley. Nobody was like, oh crap. No, let me call.
Sign me up.
Hi, pay-per-view order. I need to get that right now. I'm so excited to see this match. I think Orange Cassidy might win in a roll-up. Like, it was just so poorly done. Just like the Darby Allin match. I'm all for Claudio getting a whooping.
Yeah.
Why the hell did he just destroy Darby Allin? And also, what's wrong with Darby Allin? Stop. Have a normal freaking match, dude. That dude is so... Also, what does he weigh, 101 pounds? Claudio threw him onto a table and it didn't break because it was a feather bouncing off of a table. You couldn't even break a breakable table. He literally like bounced off of it and made this thing look even stupider than it was. Everything just about it was it was a huge miss from
the whole episode,
everything
from start to finish, minus the November Rain video at the beginning. Everything else
they should have done in the middle. Yeah,
was a huge miss. This was not a good go home show for AEW, and they always deliver at the pay-per-views, so I'm hoping that Full Gear is another one that really delivers.
My thing is that Moxley keeps saying it's a restart. This is the reset. This is the reset. To me, it looks like they don't give two craps. I feel like Tony Khan, everyone's just phoning in right now, and I don't get why. But maybe my predictions, I'll get into that. I do want to leave on one. There were two good things. Mariah May shook her boobs. She can do that all day, every day. I'm sorry, people out there. She did it on purpose, so I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to be,
absolutely.
I'm not going to look if she's doing it on purpose. That's why she's doing it. So get over it, anybody who's like, that's women. No, it's not. She's doing it because she wants me to enjoy it. Thank you, Mariah May. I appreciate you. Call me. Secondly, I did think, even though it was super stupid, and I don't understand why Chris Jericho was afraid of a 95-year-old man who looks like he has
entertaining. Yeah,
that was hilarious. The fact that he like grabbed a trash can and like set it in front of him, and the guy just like hit the trash can, and then like grabbed random people, and he was looking behind him. I thought it was pretty funny stuff. So I did enjoy it. Yes,
no, I thought it was. I thought that segment was good. It's probably one of the better Learning Tree segments maybe of all time. It was good. It was good. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Why is Ishii wrestling Chris Jericho? That's like, what are we doing here, Chris Jericho? All right. With that said, that's our AEW week in review. Sorry, AEW fans. I know you got hardcore fans on here, but you guys cannot not agree. I'm even listening to AEW hardcore fans now who are saying the product is not that great right now. But with our predictions, I'm hoping I have some ideas, and that reset's going to happen, and maybe it's going to blow up. So keep subscribing, keep tuning into us. Please click it, join us, whether you're listening, watching, whatever. Let's get into it, man. I gave you some time to get that music going. Hit that.
Prediction time. Before it ever happens, it's a prediction. Lean in close, take notes, listen. Cause they about to point it out quickly. All the things that you didn't see. It's getting called like plays at the line of scrimmage. You can take it to the bank, the dudes ain't tripping. They've been seeing what's coming for a good minute. It's prediction time, yeah, let's get it.
All right. You know what? Pop it back up. Let's just do it anyway. I'm going to do it. I didn't write it down, but I already know who's going to win. All right, so we're going to do our first ever 0 hour prediction.
That's right.
Here. First ever, because it's such a big deal. Even though I have no idea who the fudge this guy is or his weird kid, I do have to say his name's Big Boom AJ. Big Boom AJ cut some pretty damn good promos. Probably better promo. He was a better promo than Kyle O'Reilly and other people. And he looks like a wrestler because he has like all like.
I think he used to be an indie wrestler.
He has all the fake work. Okay, so that's why. So it did all look good. So we can do these predictions. He's wrestling QT Marshall, who I forgot was even in AEW. I forgot he left and then came back. Who looks in the best shape of his life as well. But I'm still mad that AEW didn't promote this. This should have been promoted. If these guys are famous, even though I'm on the internet, I've never heard of them. Promote them, get these fans to tune in, but none of their fans even know this is happening. So let's get into it.
Poor execution.
What do you got?
Again. The Costco guys are winning. I think a Big Boom AJ is going to win. I mean,
why are they the Costco guys? Did they record in Costco's?
I think I don't really know. I'm not too familiar with them. I'm going to get somebody's going to comment and be like, "Oh, you guys are boomers. You don't know anything about them." But yeah, I don't know much about them. I just know they're YouTube sensations.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm going the same thing, Big Boom and his little son are whoever he is going to win because they said that the Riz kid is going to be a timekeeper. If they win, he's going to announce it or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, good job, QT. Way to lose to this dude. Congratulations.
They are a father-son duo who got famous on TikTok for reviewing Costco food items. And yeah, the dad is a former wrestler.
What am I doing wrong? I need to rethink about my TikTok life. I'm not getting big for a reason. Like I said, I need to just run around with my pants off in the middle of the freeway and become a millionaire. They make songs about the whole place. Incredibly wholesome overall. All right, whatever. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do the same thing, Patrick. But I'm glad he knows it. So, Patrick, maybe you can join them in the Riz Kid.
There you go.
All right, let's get into this blurry match. We got the Private Party defending their tag titles against the Kings of the Black Throne, the Outrunners, and everybody loves the Acclaimed in a 4-way match. Who do you got?
I'm going to go Private Party retains because I feel like they didn't put the titles on them just to have them lose. But I think in this match, Max Caster is turning on Anthony Bowens. And he's going to either walk out on Anthony Bowens when he needs him, or he's going to low blow him and beat him down. And then Private Party's going to pin him. But Max Caster's turning in this match, allowing Private Party to get the win.
100%. There was no way they built up all this, had Private Party beat the greatest, quotation marks, tag team of all time, the Young Bucks, just to have them lose before they ever even defended. They've done nothing with it. They've literally just sat there and watched. So they will win. They're Outrunners, don't deserve anything. They need to get off my screen. The Kings of the Black Throne, they're not ready for it. And I think
they should win, but they
100%. They
won't.
Should.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. Who will win? Who should? Who should is House of Black, who will is Private Party. And I agree with you. Caster's joined an MVP in the Hurt Syndicate. Deservingly, he needs to. I'm going to cry a lot when the Acclaimed are done, but it's time. Just
It'll
like
be good
it is.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time.
It needs it. This will be a good way to rejuvenate the mid-card scene in AEW too.
Yeah, I think Bowens is going to get lost. All right, in another Hurt Syndicate match, we got Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. Should be a banger. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Bobby Lashley. I feel like he can't, but I also feel like Swerve can't lose because he's lost it. He lost it all in. He lost it all out, and now he came back at Wrestle Dream just to lose at his third straight pay-per-view. So, but you can't have Bobby Lashley lose in his pay-per-view debut. So I think it's going to be a banger. I think there's going to be shenanigans from MVP and the rest of the Hurt Business. Maybe Nana turns on Swerve. I could see that and costing him the match, but Bobby Lashley's winning regardless.
Yeah, Swerve loses all the time. This is nothing new. Bobby Lashley wins. There's no way he's going to get duped twice in a row on the same episode of Dynamite and then lose as well a few days later. Bobby, Nana, he might turn eventually, but I don't think this is it for Swerve and Bobby. I think this continues on. So yeah, Bobby gets the win, and we move on to match 2 at some other point on an episode of Rampage. All right, next up, we got Will Ospreay versus Will Ospreay Temu version. Who do you got?
He's nothing like him. I don't know if you know because he likes to tell you that he's nothing like Will Ospreay.
Like him because he's a lot more talented. But continue.
I'm going to say Will Ospreay wins this one, and hopefully we're done with this. But I have a feeling this feud's going to continue for at least until the end of the year with World's End. But yeah, I think Will Ospreay gets the win here.
This was the only match I had trouble predicting. Let's do the should and will, right? I do feel like Will Ospreay will win because there's no chance. Yeah. Tony Khan likes a few people, and there's other predictions I have. These guys don't lose. Will Ospreay's one of them. But Kyle Fletcher should win. What's the point of doing all this? If he's truly Will Ospreay's friend in real life, if he's truly they're trying to build him, a loss is going to do nothing for him. So if you don't believe in him, have him lose. If you believe in him, shoot, let him get a Will Ospreay win on his resume and then move on and try to build himself up from there.
I'd be down for that. Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen. I got Will Ospreay because Tony Khan's afraid. Yeah.
All right, next match.
All right, the match nobody paid to see. Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship versus Chris Statlander. Who do you got?
You know what? I'm going to say we're going to get our first title change. I think Chris Statlander's beating Mercedes Moné and winning the TBS championship. And because Camille's going to turn on Mercedes. She's going to take that shoulder sling off and clothesline her or something and turn on Mercedes and cost her the TBS championship. And we're going to go Mercedes versus Camille, and then Chris Statlander is going to hold the TBS championship.
So every time I think it's finally time to get Mercedes Moné a reboot, they go ahead and have her lose on the Dynamite beforehand. No chance. They're not going to have her get Chris Statlander comeuppance and then lose. Statlander should win. She should have got her butt beat in this last episode, and she didn't. So I don't think this is the person who's going to do it. I think he's once again afraid to pull the trigger on Mercedes, and I don't know why. I do not know one person in this world, internet, podcasts, AEW fan pages, that think Mercedes Moné is doing anything other than suck. This has been one of, I actually am going to say that if they keep going with how she's doing it, that this is career damaging for her. Meaning like no Hall of Fame in the WWE. No, I'm dead serious. I think that's how bad it is going for her right now, that this is ruining her legacy. People are starting to doubt themselves. People are hating it so much that they're like, was she really good in WWE? She was. She was amazing. She was amazing in it. I don't know what the heck is going on. Maybe sometimes people don't need full freedom in their character because they just don't have it. Just because you're talented doesn't mean you're creative, right? This is dog shit. I think she's going to win. Yeah.
That's why I think it's time she loses the belt.
I don't think Tony Khan sees it, bro. I think he's like blind to it. So yeah, I think Mercedes wins again, and Camille will turn on her at some point. It's not happening. Nah, Chris Statlander is going to win or lose, but she should win. All right, we got the match that I didn't even know was happening until I looked up what the cards were so I can do predictions. We got Takeshita versus the man who left WWE, and I'm sure he looks happy about it. The most hated man on the internet with his wife, Ricochet. Who do you got?
I think Takeshita retains. I think he didn't win that belt just a couple months ago just to lose it. Ricochet's a better chaser than he is a champion, and I think the chase is going to continue. So Takeshita wins from shenanigans from the Don Callis family. Maybe Powerhouse Hobbs turns on Ricochet or something and costs him the match, and he joins the Hurt Syndicate too. I don't know, but either way, Takeshita's walking out with the International Championship.
Takeshita's winning and should win, and I guarantee you he'll never admit it, maybe to his wife, maybe to a close friend. Ricochet regrets leaving the WWE already. I guarantee it. He already regrets it.
I can see that.
Already. All right, what's next? All right. Woo! MJF, the homeless abuser himself, versus Roderick Strong, the guy who is hooking up with the chick who's hooking up with John Moxley. Who do you got?
All right, you ready? I'm gonna go MJF wins, but I think you were asking earlier about the Undisputed Kingdom, why Adam Cole was wearing an Undisputed Kingdom shirt, because I think we're going to get a reunion and a return in this match. And I think this is going to be the long-awaited return of one Wardlow. I think Wardlow is going to come out because he was in Undisputed Kingdom and he just kind of disappeared. And he's going to turn on Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom and align himself with MJF. And that's the only time Wardlow has ever really worked in AEW. Kyle O'Reilly said in his promo that MJF is always 3 steps ahead of Adam Cole. This is another way of showing that he's 3 steps ahead of Adam Cole. And somehow, some way, this is going to lead to Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole like reforming a team or something against like MJF and Wardlow. But if John Moxley said that storyline with them is a reset for AEW, then this one should be too. MJF worked better with Wardlow. Wardlow worked better with MJF. Bring him back. Have him feud with Adam Cole or feud with Roderick Strong. So many directions that this could go, but Wardlow's coming back, and he is going to cost Roderick Strong the match.
I like it. I don't know who Wardlow is. Never heard of him, but I'm all for MJF. Did he
was once one of AEW's biggest stars.
I don't know.
Big guy.
I'm old. I can't go back. Oh, they don't have big guys in AEW. But yeah, I go with MJF winning. I like your scenario. Yeah, Roderick Strong has no chance of winning. We can just move on. But yeah, I like that. I would like to see a Wardlow. I would like to see Wardlow and MJF again, be honest. I mean, I always thought they worked perfectly together.
And
the only problem is they'll do it, and then 2 weeks from now, MJF will already start turning on him because that's what everybody does, and it'll be rinse and repeat.
But if you remember, last time Adam Cole and Wardlow were together, Adam Cole was like mad at him for losing the world title shot to Samoa Joe. So he could use the same logic that Adam Cole was using on MJF. Like, you were going to turn on me eventually, so I just beat you to your own game.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's happening.
I like it. I like it. All right. Oh, yeah, baby. Jack Perry, who's still tied up in a chair, is going to wrestle Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. Who you got?
I think Jack Perry's going to retain. I feel like he has to retain because I think they're setting us up. I don't think he's coming back at this pay-per-view because Wardlow's going to be the big return. But I think they're setting us up for Adam Copeland versus Jack Perry for the TNT Championship here in the future. So I think Jack Perry is going to retain, and Daniel Garcia is going to put up a hell of a fight. But it's Jack Perry's retaining.
Jack Perry is my last one of my cannot lose matches. Tony Khan, I don't know if it's a pride thing, and he just is too prideful to let him lose because CM Punk left and is successful because of Jack Perry. So you got to show it was worth it. I think that's what's going, and which is sad because Jack Perry's super talented and having a good run. But yeah, you're not going to have this man get tied up and all that stuff to have him lose. I thought Daniel Garcia was going to win easily. But once again, AEW doesn't believe in people they say they believe in. I think Jack Perry beats Daniel Garcia as well to retain.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Poor Daniel Garcia. Woo! In the match they didn't even talk about on Dynamite, we got Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White. Should steal the show. Who do you got?
Yeah, I think this is going to be match of the night. And Jay White got the first win. I think this is leading to a trilogy of matches. So I'm going to go Hangman Adam Page wins this one. And then we're going to get the final match, probably some sort of like New Jersey death match or something at World's End or something. But a Philadelphia, I don't even know where World's End is in December, but it's going to be some AEW, It's going to be some sort of street fight or something. But yeah, and that'll be the final match of this trilogy. But so Hangman Page wins this one.
All right. I agree with you. Hangman needs to get a win in the trilogy, but he'll lose it at the end because Hangman Page doesn't like to win. So yeah, I got Hangman Page winning as well, but this is going to be a banger. And in the main event, Jon Moxley defends the title he doesn't care about against one Orange Cassidy. Who do you got?
Oh, man. I'm going to go Jon Moxley's winning this match. It's just a matter of how he wins, but I think Jon Moxley's winning this match. I think Orange Cassidy's going to put up a fight. I think we're going to get a bunch of people coming out of the locker room. I think maybe Bryan Danielson comes back at some point too. He's retired from full-time competition. They keep saying that, but he's not retired. So I could see him coming back and doing like one more match with Moxley or something. But Moxley's winning. It's just a matter of how, not if.
This is the start of the reset that I think Jon Moxley was talking about. It wasn't already happening. It's going to happen after this on that Dynamite. I think Jon Moxley is going to destroy Orange Cassidy. He's going to put a butt whooping on him, defend his title. He's going to beat everybody else up afterwards. And Orange Cassidy is going to disappear. I predicted this before they were even announced to wrestle each other. I said, this is an NWO swerve. Orange Cassidy is Sting. He is going to disappear. Mox is going to beat Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin's, other people. He's going to beat people, and it's going to feel like the Death Riders are taking over and AEW has lost all hope. That is the reset. That is a new way they're going. And all of a sudden, you're going to see a brand new looking Orange Cassidy in the crowd. He's not going to have Sting makeup, but he's going to be a whole different person. No longer will he be the orange juice guy that he is. He's going to be somebody completely different, and he will eventually dethrone Jon Moxley and be the savior of AEW. It starts now. I'm calling it. Y'all can other people will steal it from me and get credit for it because they have more followers than I.
Yeah,
but I've been saying it forever. You can check my receipts. It's on my TikTok. That's what's happening. The end.
Yeah, no, I can certainly see that, and I think that's probably the best call for them to do. And bring Orange Cassidy back in a couple of months as like a darker character or something, and see how he does. But I got to give credit to Orange Cassidy. I feel like he's been cutting some of the best promos of his entire
He's already
career.
changing a little bit.
He's changed. He's not wearing the blue. He's wearing now black all the time. He's going a little bit darker. But yeah, he's cutting some really great promos. And you can tell that this means everything to him. So I'm happy to see him getting this opportunity. But yeah, like you said, Jon Moxley's going to win with ease, most likely.
Yes, sir. All right. That's our predictions for Full Gear. Let's get into it. We got to get into our least valuable, most valuable. Are you ready? Who is your least valuable dude of the Rampage, Collision, and Dynamite week of AEW?
I think this one's pretty easy. It's Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. To me, they had one of the worst promos I've ever heard in wrestling, and there was no reaction from the audience. It was just a horrible, awkward promo. It didn't get me hyped at all about the MJF Roderick Strong match, which they should have had Roderick Strong in the ring with those guys if you wanted to make an impact some sort. But yeah, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly get my LVD of the week this week.
We're finally on the same page again. I agree. It was just embarrassing. The crowd, all 300 people didn't give one rat's ass. Nobody. It was just like it served no purpose. It was pretty bad. I was going to give it to Daniel Garcia, but since he technically did get the comeuppance, I felt like he couldn't be the loser just because he blew it afterwards. But yeah, I agree. Same exact least valuable dude of the week. All right, most valuable dude or dudette. Who do you got?
I'm going to give it to somebody who doesn't get a lot of flowers, but I'm going to go Claudio Castagnoli. I feel like this man is
good job.
We talk about Jon Moxley being in the best shape of his life and looking the best as he's ever looked. I feel like ever since they turned on Bryan Danielson, Claudio he's doing the best work of his entire career, not just his AEW run, but his entire, like WWE included. I mean, he's more vicious, he's more violent. He looks like a badass. He looks tougher. And this week he beat the snot out of Darby Allin with relatively easily. He's better on the microphone than I've ever heard him be. He's just more confident than I've ever seen him. He's got this new aura around him. So Claudio Castagnoli right now is absolutely killing it. And I feel like he's kind of in the shadow of Jon Moxley, who's also doing a fantastic job. But Claudio's doing his thing. He is doing his thing.
Well done. I should have picked that. But instead, I didn't pick mine with my heart. I picked it with something a little bit lower, and I'm going with one Moriah May. Yeah. And not only did she win a match, probably the best match of the week, but she probably cut the greatest segment without saying a word of all time. When you talk about cutting promos and not saying anything, that was it. Moriah May, God bless your heart. You are the greatest thing possibly going on, at least top 5 in wrestling today. I appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much. But she is my most valuable dudette. And if you aren't looking forward to her champagne dinner, you're out of your mind. That's like the old champagne celebration or whatever. I'm looking forward to that.
Toni Storm's coming back for that prediction.
That's what you said. Yeah, you got it. Yep, Toni Storm. I'm all for that too. And I think it would be great to see Toni Storm beat both of them up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm all excited for it. But she ain't retired. Get out of here. Anyway, sorry to all our fans out there. I'm a man and I have needs and I love me some Moriah May. Get over it. She appreciates it. She messages me all the time and thanks me. But anyway, as always, thank you for subscribing, for commenting, for tuning in, for listening. I just started listening to us on Spotify to try to educate myself. I think we look great. We not look great, but we sound great. Tune in to all you Spotify people. I appreciate you. Or Apple Music, thank you too as well. As always, if you want to catch me, just me, HBD Denton on all social medias. I post as much as I possibly can. So get out there and get me some views and listen to me and get me a little bit bigger. Because if I can get bigger, if Ryan then we can get bigger on here. We can advertise more. If you truly think we have any type of talent, do it, man. At least we can get paid a little bit so we can get a little bit more budget and bigger as well. So we need that. We need follows. We need listens. And we need you guys to tune in. As always, I'm with my dude.
Ryan enjoys wrestling. Like he said, go follow me on all the social platforms and subscribe. You know, if we can get paid, we can do things for the show and put all the money back into making this the best wrestling podcast out there. So we're over 1,300 followers on YouTube. So keep subscribing there. Go follow us on Twitch at 2dudes_with attitudes. We're on Apple and Spotify. So go follow us there. Two Dudes with Attitudes. We've got a new logo on Apple and Spotify, so we're looking dapper. So
Yes,
go follow us, and then hit us up on TikTok at Two Dudes with Attitudes, and follow us on X at Two Dudes PC. Go tell everyone about your favorite two dudes on the internet.
Heck yeah, Two Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're riding in Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.